LJD here again. Going to give you a quick rundown on how the alarm works with the remote start and everything on the bike, as far as what auxiliaries it controls and so forth. Again, like I said, it's an alarm with the voice module on it. So when you go to arm it, it tells you that it's armed. It's also a two-way, so it gives you confirmation with these little LEDs on the side, letting you know that it's armed and disarmed, or receive the signal from the bike. Disarm, you hit the unlock button to disarm it. Remote start, what you do is you hit here, the little star button. You hit that once, you get a confirmation both from the bike and the remote. Lights flash, letting you know it received it. The remote comes back at you, letting you know you got the signal. Give it a few seconds, it turns on. I have a 5-minute run time on this one, because, you know, just for show, you don't need it to run for very long. There's no heater and no AC. If you want to shut it down, you don't want it to run for the full 5 minutes, you just hit the same button again to activate or deactivate the remote start. What you do is you hit that one, and that'll shut it down. Now, as far as the auxiliaries are concerned, on this here, auxiliary 1 would normally be for a trunk release. He opted not to get on this one, so I didn't install that one. But the secondary auxiliary would be for the air suspension up. What you do is you hit this little F button on the side, and what it does is it jumps up to the next few channels, and then you hit F once, auxiliary, that'll bring the air suspension up. You hit that same one again to stop it, because it'll stay latched until you hit it again, so we don't want the air suspension to fill all the way up and the bike ends up tipping over. Auxiliary 3, same process, hit the F button, but you hit it 2 times this time, and auxiliary. That'll be to lower the bike. We heard the relay click, that's, you know, for it to let the air suspension down. Air suspension on here moves really slow as far as going down. I'll go over a few other features and then come back to show you how the air suspension is actually down. I'm just going to let it, you know, lower it while we're going over a few other things. Again, this air suspension I didn't install. I do the electronics, so as far as the alarm and the other electronics and things like that is what I did do on this bike. The next channel will be auxiliary 4, so you hit that 3 times. Then auxiliary, that'll turn your LEDs on. They stay on until you hit the remote again to shut them off. So you don't have to worry about, you know, the lights shutting off on you after a few seconds or so forth. If you want to shut them down, you hit the same auxiliary channel again, and that shuts them down. Now again, I have a strobe strobe light set up in here. I have strobe lights in the tail and in the 2 front. The way you activate that is you hit the F button again to get to the final auxiliary, which is auxiliary 5, and then you hit aux. That activates the strobes. And I have some in the front as well. To shut them off, same thing. You get to auxiliary 5, and that'll shut it down. Alright. Now I'm going to take you back to the air suspension so I can show you how it lowered down already. See, lowered down. So now that it's already low to the point where I need it, I'll just hit the auxiliary button again to that channel, so it'll shut off the down on there and it won't lower anymore. That's pretty much it. I can pretty much do all types of electronics on, you know, cars, bikes, anything. This one in particular is a 2008 Suzuki Hayabusa. Remote start, alarm, auxiliary features. I'd like to give a special shout out to a friend of mine, Robert, of Robert Music. He gave me he did some research for me, got me some paperwork that I needed for this. I tried out, you know, a few things that I found on the paperwork. Everything worked out fine. As far as the remote start is concerned, I haven't yet seen anyone do a remote start on one of these bikes. So here you are, Southern New Jersey, 2008 Suzuki Hayabusa. Thanks.